Welcome back everybody to What If Ruby? What if I was in Ruby? This is 8.4, I'm guessing. And the final, before we enter 8.9, before we enter what if I was in Ruby 9, will be the final basically training arc for this. Basically they're gonna be training now. And they're gonna be, I'm just gonna quick state it, they're gonna be training for probably they're gonna be probably 1 year, and by the time they get back, it's gonna be volume 7. No, it's gonna be volume 6 of Ruby. That's the time they're gonna get back, at volume 6 near the end, or at volume 6 where they enter Atlas for the first time. That's where this anime. That's when they come back to the Ruby universe. But yeah, now we have our characters: Pyrrha, Arthur, Torchwig, Pyrrha, Arthur, Torchwig, Penny. Yeah, we have everyone there, and they just went through a gruesome combat training. But now it's time for them to get training, as they trained for over a year. I'm gonna skip over the training because nothing much interesting happened. It's just they were training. Obviously, I am gonna do some slight things, like things that you need to know. Like, I will go to Arthur's training and basically tell you about this thing. Yeah. So let's first start off with Penny. Now, Penny got gruesomely, basically, her body is destroyed, as Orange decided to upgrade her personally, giving her a personal human body. What do I mean by a personal human body? Um, a literal personal human body. She's able to smell, she's able to see, she's able to feel like a human. Basically, Orange has basically gotten her so close to becoming a real human, it's basically she can touch it. She's able to feel like a normal human. She's able to see like this. She's still able to see, but obviously like a robot. She speaks slightly better than, like, slightly not as a human. She speaks more of, she speaks slightly like human instead of a robot. And yeah, Orange is also basically, this body is not meant for combat, but it's just meant for, how can I say it? It's meant for more of a easier interaction between people, because that she can experience what it's like to be a human. Now, this body that Penny has, this body is very, very, very gentle. And this body was never built for combat. So that means if she finds herself in combat with either Grim in this suit, or in this, like, basically body that she has right now, she is basically dead. She basically is dead. It's simple. But yeah, not to that. I'm going to give you a slight preview of how the body works, and no, what the body looks like. Now, looking at this human slash more human-like body that Penny has gotten, she has no weapons on her, obviously. Now, this body is completely see-through. It's filled with this thick liquid, as it's also filled with this line of code that you can vaguely barely see, but yeah. The skin is very thick, and in between these skins are like certain small, very, very thin see-through lines of wire. This wire is obviously her nervous system, or basically a sensory ability. This stuff is able to pick up this thing is able to pick up when something's hot, when something's cold. Yeah, it's basically to send stuff to the brain, as it all connects to the back of her neck. Now, the back of her neck has three plugs. Three plugs. One for basically if she wants to download information, the other one for a charge outlet, and the other one that is unknown. For now, that is unknown. Now, yes, as Penny has this like body was made for Penny, but she doesn't understand how this is an upgrade compared to her old body, because her old body could fight and she wants to be a hunter. She doesn't know how this is effective. As Orange states, follow me. As Orange comes to a certain like area, as he tells Penny to place her hand in, like basically walk into this area, as it's basically a red box that was outlined on the floor. As Arthur placed something on the back of her neck, as he plugged it into the hole, basically the outlet that was unknown. As this thing turns on, as you just see pieces of machinery that was being worked on all around the area that she was got her body from, basically come flying towards her, as one basically equips on her arm, the other one go to the back of her neck, the other one foot, other foot, basically chest plate, back chest plate, arms. Yeah, basically how Iron Man equips his new armor. Basically how those parts just fly towards her. Now this parts are no normal parts. It's nanotech. Now the nanotech, think of it like Avengers in-game Iron Man. That suit mixed with Mark, I guess when Iron Man was busy fighting Captain America. Or no, yeah, when Iron Man was busy fighting Captain America mixed with nanotech. She got a complete overview, and basically now she has a suit. Now she can wear the suit as a weapon, as the suit still carries her normal like weapons that she has, those floating blades, but this time she doesn't need a string that can connect to her. She doesn't need to like equip her blades with strings and control it. It can control itself because it's nanotech. She also has basically her blades can use blasters like Iron Man did in Avengers Endgame. She can make a shield. Iron Man did in Avengers Endgame. She can also use plasma weapons. She can use the plasma beam. Yes, and the power source that she's using, while it relies on the water that's inside of the original body, or the first body that I explained. Now, I don't want to get any scientific things here, so I'm just going to say it's a very advanced battery that doesn't easily run out of electricity. And also, if she goes into a sleep mode, she's busy charging. So she doesn't need to plug herself anywhere into a building. But if she does do that, it just speeds up the process of like her charging faster. Because if she goes into sleep mode to charge, it's a slow process. If she charges herself, maybe plugs herself into a building or anything to get charged faster, it will basically be faster. Simple. Now, let's go to Neo. Neo has been training as well, and would say that most or not even nearly the entire team can use these abilities now because it's been a year. Neo has been focusing on her illusions, and she has also unlocked chakra and magic. She can use both magic when she wants to, she can use both chakra when she wants to. She has also been she has been really focused and interested on alchemy. Now, magic, if you don't know the rules of alchemy, it's to take one thing and basically equivalent exchange. So if you take iron, you break it down to its components, its molecule components, and turn it into another object that's made out of iron. If you take wood and iron, break it down to its molecule components, and change it into something that involves wood and iron, equivalent exchange. Now, that's what she's been learning. She's been dabbing into alchemy, and she knows the laws between alchemy. You can't equivalent exchange something that has already died. It's just impossible. She also learned about the mystical stone, but she's not going to be focused on the stone. She also dabbled into chakra, and she was working on genjutsu and ninjutsu. Genjutsu and ninjutsu specifically. And maybe a bit of taijutsu, depending. She's also unlocked in this year observation haki. She's close to unlocking armament. And she's also unlocked nen. I always want to say haki, but observation haki, same thing as haki. She's unlocked nen, and she's a no, she's not a transmuter. She's a manipulator. She's a manipulator. She's a manipulator, but she also went into a manipulator and a, I don't know what you call those stuff where you can put nin into a certain object. That's one. There's a word for it. There's a name for it. I just can't think of it. And then you can use the nin to like throw it. So it's manipulator and something else. But yeah, that's it. Now her illusions are more deadlier because it doesn't shatter as easy. She can put someone under a genjutsu and they won't even know it. She can put someone under a slight genjutsu while she's fighting, just to like make them confused so they see one thing when actuality something else is happening. She can use manipulation then, and then manipulation to kind of increase her illusion ability. And she's also um, actually no, because she's a manipulator, she can't dabble into transmute. She can't do transmutation. She's not a transmuter. Okay, so she's only a manipulation then. Yeah, that's it. That's all she's been doing. So she can make her blades count. She can either make like her illusions increase by nin, so she can use her nin basically to make it even more harder to like detect that as an illusion. She can cover the entire area in her nin and basically disorientate a person's sensory ability, and vice versa. I could go on with her abilities, but I'm not. I'm going to go to Pyrrha's abilities. Now, Pyrrha has changed a lot. She has changed from being just her semblance, has changed from being a gravity or a magnetic semblance to electromass semblance. She is able to produce electricity, just like one of the members of a team. She's able to passively produce it, as in if she's in combat. Like, if she's out of combat and she's moving, she's producing electricity. But if she's in combat and her semblance going to combat mode, she produces electricity faster. She can also convert electricity into energy to keep her fueled up. She can produce it into aura to keep her aura fueled up and topped up, which is OP. She's OP as heck now. And she's also able to, I'm trying to think now, she's also able to, her magnetic semblance has gotten stronger. Strong to the point where she's able to control gravity to a certain point. She's able to make things float, she's able to attract certain things towards her, she's able to move things just as gravity does, but she's also able to make people feel the effects of gravity. As in times 2 Earth's normal gravity, or 0 gravity, or -5 gravity, the same. He's also able to repel attacks like the almighty push. She's able to do stuff like almighty push. Yeah, she's basically got an OPer, and now she's going to basically kick someone's ass if you mess with her. Especially with a shield and spear. She gives off that Spartan vibe. And yes, she's been training with Spartans in another universe. Actually, in the same universe that everyone else is. Like that Neo, Penny, and Arthur was. It's just, you can say, Assassin brought some of her friends from a very olden time to train to train Penny specifically. So yeah, and Penny has also become, you can say, she's become an interpretation of Thor. Now, Penny's one ability, I can tell you, she's able to coat basically an entire weapon or a spear with lightning, as she's able to throw it as it's like a lightning bolt. It's like Zeus came from the heavens to strike someone down with lightning. Or even better, it's like Penny's the daughter of Zeus and she gains Zeus's powers. Yeah, she's OP now. Because she has a spear. Um, anyway, I'm not gonna go too deep into Penny's other abilities. Arthur's abilities. He's been training his dragon abilities, so he can coat his entire body in fire. He can basically consume fire like Natsu. He can use fire first like Natsu does. Blow fire, yeah. He can also shoot out fire from his feet, like from Fire Force. I don't know his name, but yeah. Anything doing like that's matter with fire, he does a lot of things with. He's also learned like dabbled in ninjutsu, and he's also unlocked a few releases. He's unlocked Lava Release as one of his basically releases. He's unlocked, I don't know what his name is. He's the leader of Team 8. No, he died. He died, and he's like he's the Jonin sensei of Choji and Ino and yeah, Shikamaru. Him. Now that guy has something like smoke release. I don't know, but he has a jutsu that involves smoke. And when he clicks it explodes. He has something similar. Arthur can do something similar. Um, um, Also, the abilities that Arthur is he can finally use white flames now. White flames is just the opposite of Amaterasu. Amaterasu is an everlasting flame that will burn things. White flames are the same thing. It's everlasting. It will never get put out. You can't use water to put it out. It burns forever. But it also can, basically, Arthur can control it to a certain degree. He can decide to basically harm this person and heal this person. So, there. And it's also the counter to the Amaterasu. So, yeah. As Arthur has also found his two swords that he, that that his brothers has been looking for years now. Ever since Arthur has disappeared, he's carried two swords. But the two swords disappeared suddenly when he entered the Ruby universe. What happened to them no one knows. These swords are cursed weapons. Cursed weapons that only Arthur or his sister are able to wield. There are three of them. His sister has one of them, which is a katana, and he has the other two, which are basically these two swords are equally powerful to the katana, so they're equal in power. As these are basically, they have no hilt. The swords have no hilt, they're just blades. They're just swords, they have no hilt on. As they don't know what happened to blades. They somehow just disappeared. As this is what happened. Arthur is busy training with his sister this time. As his sister is giving him quite a hard time. As Arthur is using his axe. Until his sister knocks the axe out of his hand and now is behind. As his sister was about to finish him, Arthur, in his desperation, trying to basically get his weapon back to him, his axe finally opens, as in it opens up, basically revealing like its center, as a black sword flies out, one black sword, as Arthur grabs this black sword and blocks the sword that she was using, as this gives basically a massive gust of wind, just gets sent everywhere. As I would say that the first person would notice would be Red, as Red would say, "Is that? No way. That can't be." That's as Orange would complete it, the twin cursed swords. As his sister would smile and state, "So, tell me, Arthur, where have you been hiding those two weapons?" As Arthur states, "Two where," as he finally realizes what he has in his hand. As Arthur basically, they stop fighting as Arthur is looking over it. The sword is in its hilt, by the way, so we block the katana with the hilt of the blade instead of like unsheathing it. As Arthur states, "So what is this supposed to be?" As Arthur's sister states, "A very powerful weapon. Both of those swords are. They are able to cut mountains down in a single swipe. Pretty powerful, but those blades are cursed." As Arthur states, "What's the curse?" "The curse means it will forever be bound to you until the end of time." Well, until the end of time. And no one else can pick it up but you and me. As as he's looking at this blade, he didn't unsheath it yet. He's just looking at how it's basically in its holster, I guess. As they are writing on it, as Arthur's sister continues stating, "The blade is unbreakable. No god can break those swords. No matter what the god is, can't break it. Even if it's the god of destruction, won't be able to destroy that sword. The sword, some rumors say, was believed to be came from the void itself, and that whoever came in contact with it, was us too, would be cursed, would be bound to its basically use its wielder for all eternity. And you were the lucky one to get two of them." As the axe is still open, as he pulls out the other one, as one is heavy and the other one is light. One is just slightly, like, just slightly light, while the other one's just heavy. As he finally unsheathes it, as when he starts unsheathing it, it's just this aura that falls under people. Everybody just gets this feeling of just dread and basically horror. As he slowly keeps on unsheathing this blade, it's basically picking up wind as basically the sky is changing. As Arthur's sister walks next to him and basically puts the sword back in its hilt, just basically sliding it back in. As when she does it, it creates a ting as it sends out a gust of wind. The storm that was brewing outside finally goes away, as the air that was basically the sword was putting on the room lifts. As Green's like, "Huh, that sword is still scarier as ever." As Arthur puts the sword back in the axe and picks the axe up and states, "So I'd rather keep those swords for a last resort." Correct. Those swords are powerful in their own right. So is my one. She's not using the cursed blade that she has on her. She has her cursed blade on her waist that's still not unsheathed yet. She's using another sword. Both of these swords are just black. They're just black. As Okay, and now I'm gonna put the what if on pause. What I mean by I'm gonna put the what if on pause, I'm gonna go over something very, very important. Comments. Somebody commented a question, a specific question for what if I was in the Ruby universe. The question was, why do they have so many abilities? Well, I'm gonna explain this because number one, the Ruby universe, Arthur doesn't come from the Ruby universe. He doesn't even have a universe of his own. As I stated in before some of my other videos, Arthur will jump between universes. So does his brothers and sisters. So whatever universe they end up in, whether it be the One Piece universe, the Naruto universe, or vice versa, they learn their abilities. Eventually they'll learn their abilities. Even though they are not efficient in it, they will learn these abilities and continue hopping between universe and universe. Why are they hopping between universe and universe? That's a secret. And you will learn that eventually somewhere at the when I finish volume 8. But by the time I finish volume 8, or by the time I finish volume 7 to be more specific, the what if will probably end there. So yes, and also I might be asking this at the end of the. I might be asking this very early, but here's a question. If you want to know about Arthur's backstory and want to learn more about Arthur, you guys, I'm going to need you to comment down below if you want me to do a what if about Arthur. Specifically about Arthur. Just about Arthur. Explaining his backstory and where he comes from. Because I can do that, and it's going to be a what if about it. So I just need comments down below. Now, let's continue on with the what if. That's much of the training that happened. As I would say, a year would pass. As the only as finally Arthur would finally say it. That I think it's time for us to go back. Who knows what is happening back home. And I think it's time for us to return. As Arthur's sister states, I got a feeling you were gonna say that. And we have a proposition for you before you go back. As Arthur states, what is this proposition? At the end of this journey that you're going with your friends, or once you're finished helping all your friends, as she looks at Penny and the others, that at the end of Arthur, basically Arthur helping his new friends, when he's finished, that they should continue adventuring on. As Arthur states, when as she states, as Arthur's sister states, only when you're done helping them. Because we can tell, like, after I found you, I could tell things were already getting problematic. So I think it's good for you to return for now. And when all the problems back at your universe are solved, we can continue our journey throughout the multiverse, if that's fine with you. As Arthur said, sure. As Green walks over and states, but you're not doing this alone. As Arthur's like, explain. As Orange states, what he's trying to state is, you're not gonna go back to that universe alone. We're coming with you. As Green states, and by we, I mean all of us. As Arthur's brothers just like, they're all by a table. As Arthur's brothers all like standing. As they all like circle the table. As the only people that are sitting are Penny, Piera, Tortwig, Neo, and Arthur. And Arthur's sister. But the rest are just standing. As I would say that magic stakes, and this time we're gonna help you with whatever you're dealing with. I believe the stories that I've been hearing from the others, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's probably pretty bad down there. It sounds pretty bad down there. As Green's like, yeah, I mean, the stories that you were telling us, like the school being destroyed and all these grim type dark monsters that keep on attacking and you needed hunters, yada yada. As Vid cuts off Green's head and says, shut up. Seriously, Green, your voice is annoying. As Green's head grows back and says, oh, sorry, did it again, didn't I? As they all have a laugh and states, as Arthur's sister states, so, when do you want to leave? Tomorrow. Is that fine? As Arthur's sister looks at all Arthur's brother and states, so, you heard Arthur. We move out tomorrow. Get prepared. As everyone, as All Arthur's brothers start leaving stage. Will get prepared. See you tomorrow morning. As yeah, they have a night or sleep. The next morning, in the portal room, as Arthur states, so how does this work? Well, it's simple. We're gonna teleport everyone that's in this portal room to the Ruby universe. To the universe that you were once in. And now that the portal is finished charging, finally, we can go. But we have a slight problem. Two people are gonna have to stay here. And the two people that are staying here Torchwig and Yellow. As Yellow said, it's fine. You guys have fun in that universe. I mean, you guys better bring a lot of things that I can use for the material. You guys better bring a lot of materials and things that I could use because, I mean, I hear there's a lot of good things down there. And it's just a rumor, but you should also bring some of that dust back here. I mean, I am basically coming up with a lot of good uses for it. And you never know, I could advance your dust technology to a point. As Orange states, don't worry, Yellow, we'll bring a lot of dust for you. And a lot of materials. As Yellow be like, great. And also, I'll be on comms, so you'll be able to talk to me. As it, Torchwig and Yellow basically wave. As they're waving, as Yellow grabs Torchwig and says, now we need to get out of this room. As Torchwig's like, why? Or else we're gonna get teleported with them. Inside the observation room, as Yellow drags Torchwig to the observation room. As you see a bunch, the pillars start like lighting up with electricity. As Arthur states, so how are we gonna teleport? Are we gonna teleport somewhere random? Are we gonna teleport somewhere in a city? Or maybe a capital? As he's asking questions about how the teleportation works, as she says, no, 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 no. We're gonna teleport in the sky. As Arthur's like, what? As they teleport basically three hundred. They're skydiving right now. They were basically on the border of the ozone layer, as they were just falling. Now they're just falling. Now, location-wise on where they are close. They're not even. They're like, how can I say it? They just need to go over the ocean, and then they'll be in Atlas. Simple. As everyone's just busy skydiving, as we see Arthur screaming, "You could have just warned me sooner!" As they're all just falling, as the rest are just having a ball, except for Piera, Neo, and Penny. I would say Neo would be screaming, but you wouldn't really hear her scream because she would just be like making the face of fear and screaming. As yeah, the rest, like Arthur's sister, are just enjoying their time. They're just like relaxing, or they're just having fun skydiving. As Arthur's sister's like, why are you worrying? You do realize you could just, you do realize the suit that you're busy wearing right now, right? As Arthur's like, oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. So I think we should test out this new thing, shall we? Now, Arthur and the others are wearing a specific suit. It's a black suit. Think of it like a Titanfall, but black suit, as they also wearing a helmet. Each one of them. As they are falling, they put their hands to their side. All of them like are falling now. They all put their hands on the side as they basically put their legs together and their hands on their basically sides near their hips. As something clicks on their wrist and their legs as they open their hands, and now they have sort of wings. I don't have a picture for it, but it looks pretty cool. They are sort of flying. Or they are sort of gliding, but they don't have a glider. They're using the suits. As she says, now we have fun, as they are busy gliding somewhere to a possible location where they can land. As I would say they will get further down. As she states, now pull your, basically, your parachutes, as they are somewhere near the floor now, as they land. They land on the ground. As Arthur states, okay, I have to admit, that was fun. If you're wondering where Arthur's brothers are, they are all fused with him. Like on the last video, Arthur and has remembered that his brothers they have ability to fuse, as Arthur and his brothers are basically, all his brothers are basically one. 6 people in one body. As it's just this amount of people. It's 4 people right now. As Arthur states, we need to find Ruby and the others. Now, where do you think they could be right now? As I would say that there would be, as I would say, you would hear Yellow on the comms. As Yellow states, well, if you're looking for a Pacific person, if you're looking for a Pacific person in this universe, that's going to be hard for me to track. I either need a tracker or Pacific. I either need a tracker to make it easier easier looking for the specific character that you're looking for. As Arthur's sister states, don't worry, I placed something on your friend before I left. As Yellow is busy searching on the systems, searching for any basically tracking device that's in this universe's district, as they pick up one ping. As the ping is going over the ocean, as he explains where this ping is going. As the first person to speak is Piera, as she states, they're heading to Atlas. Atlas, huh? That's an unusual name. But hey, it's another universe, so we're gonna come over unusual names. Now, Atlas. As Yellow states, yes, but it believes to be you're gonna need to be flying to get there. As Orange states, well, that's easy. Well, that's gonna be easy. As Orange explains that he's modified their suits to to use dust as well. To use dust. And Pacific dust, gravity dust. And don't worry, there's a load amount of gravity dust already there. From the certain dust crystals you are able to give us, which the dust crystals that they had on hand was fire crystal, ice crystal, I think lightning crystal, dark crystal, and gravity crystal. They were able to replicate. They were able to replicate dust, as they replicated the gravity dust crystal. As yes, their suits are basically able to fly, and certainly you guys are at a high enough point because they landed on a mountain peak. You guys are high enough, you should be able to fly there. So I suggest you get moving if you want to keep up with your friends. As yeah, they would jump off the mountain and use their gravity dust. As Arthur would touch like a thing on his chest, as the gravity dust would activate. As now they are flying. As they are flying pretty fast. Faster than a normal ship could fly. As I would say, the Ruby team would get there first. As everything that happened in Volume 7 would happen now. They would get caught by the special ops in Atlas, as they would be get taken to they would be getting taken to General Ironwood. That's in Atlas. But I would say just while they were en route to General Ironwood, our team would get there. Like now, they weren't pretty far off from Atlas. They were just what, like one island away to get to Atlas. They weren't that far. I would say they were closer than Ruby's team, but they weren't that far. Location wise, I don't know like the locations of Ruby that much. I know the map, so I can still say they were closer to Atlas than Ruby's team was in the anime. So yeah, as they would get there, basically once Ruby's team like got there, or once Ruby's team finally landed the Atlas jet that they stole, and then got basically arrested by the hunter teams, then yeah, they got there. As the same thing goes in canon with the Ruby's team. But the difference is Arthur's team finally gets into Atlas as well. But they are not detected. Thanks to Neo. She placed up a certain barrier keeping them invisible from the public eye, so people won't be able to see them. It's basically like an invisible force field. As they land on one of the buildings, as now Arthur is coming up with a plan. Okay, we need to find Ruby's team. As he contacts Yellow, he contacts Yellow as he states they are somewhere in the sky. As he's like, what? They're up there. As he's probably stating that they've been taken there to General Ironwood, and that if they could get there, they could also get to General Ironwood. If they could get to General Ironwood quickly, yeah, they could help as much as they can. I would say that they would be on the ground right now, on the streets, and they would be keeping out of public eye. As the people that would be most effective in stealth would be Arthur, Neo, and Penny. The rest, such as Arthur's sister, would keep to the rooftops. As I would say, Penny, I don't know, I wouldn't know how Neo got this, but Neo would find basically a quicker way up to basically the flying island. As they are busy wandering basically the streets, as they are looking around, as Arthur would be the first one to speak. Damn, this place is horrible. As Green states in his head, it's not that horrible. I mean, if you think hard enough, you might remember a place similar to this. It was worse, and everything was underwater. So, yeah, this is not that bad. As Arthur does get a certain memory about like a place underwater that looked just like Atlas, the way that Atlas looks now, as he's like, you know what, you're right. This isn't that bad. From the things I might have seen, this is just nothing. As Arthur is continuing walking through the streets, I would say he would come across one of the people that were tracking him, which are the people that attacked Ruby's team in Volume 7 the first time. I don't know what their names are, but I'm going to get images. You know what? I got a different idea. I would say that Arthur would be walking as he encounters this scene. Or no, he encounters a Grim. Grim has broken through the walls, and they are busy attacking the civilians. As the other members, such as Penny, Pira, would be basically facing off against the Grim. Now the difference in this story would be there would be no hero in Atlas. Penny would not be the hero in Atlas because there would be no hero in the Atlas. So they would just rely on the Hunter Special Forces. That's it. So Penny would not be a symbol of hope or a symbol of peace or like basically a person like of the people. There would be no hero in Atlas. As they would like face these Grim, as Arthur would come across the scene with the rest of his team. as you would see Ruby's team basically being cornered by these other hunters. As Arthur states, this is bad. Looks like they've been caught. As they see these hunters take down Ruby's team in the matter of seconds. As Arthur would say, they're skilled. As I would say, Arthur's sister would say, they're skilled. But we're more skilled than them. So we could take them, if you want. As Arthur's like, no. We don't want anyone to know we're here yet. So I would say, keep to the shadows and follow them. As everyone say, aye aye, as they would disappear. As I would say, Arthur would see what Ruby dropped, as it would be a certain artifact. As he would sense a certain power, something that he hasn't felt in a while, a power of a power that is similar to his sister's and his own knowledge, but it's very, very small. As he states, this is weird. What is that artifact? And why does it look? And why was Ruby carrying it? Guess I'll find out soon enough. As we stop there with the continue sign, this is part 8.4, and now we'll be getting into the actual Ruby story once again, because now that the training things are over, we'll actually be jumping back into the Ruby story. I know this was a hodgepodge of messed up things that was happening, like the traveling, yada yada, but yeah, don't worry, the next episode, or What If I Was in Ruby Part 9, will be better. Reasons being, I can finally stop making my own scenes and get back to the Ruby story that exists now. And the Ruby story will be following basically when Ruby got caught by the hunters, or by the special hunters that were in Atlas. That moment. So that's the moment that Arthur saw here. Now, that's it, guys. Until next time. Yeah, bye.